Hey, Janet, where have you run off to? Hello, Rita. What did you want to talk about? I put all the paperwork for tomorrow's presentation on your desk. So I'd like you to go ahead and copy all of those and make enough copies for everyone coming, please. You want me doing all that today? There are going to be 21 people attending the proposal meeting, so please make that many copies for me. Even the CEO and a few other higher-ups will be there. So make sure all the papers are properly aligned after copying them and staple them together. Hold on for a moment. I'm already heading back to my house right now. Huh? Why are you doing that? You still have a lot of work to do today. You can't just skip work like that without telling anyone. Didn't you hear that since last week I've started to work shorter shifts here within the company? I know that for normal work weeks you all have to work until 5:30, but as for myself with this new schedule, I'm only needed in the office until 4 p.m. And because of that, I'm sure there are other people in the department there to help you now. So, because of that change to my schedule, I'm not going to be able to do any work for you right now as I'm not in the office. Well, why don't you just turn around and come back here? Please don't say such nonsense. I already stamped my time card and everything. I don't want to have to come back in and create an unnecessary problem for HR. So, you're not even going to listen to what the full-time employee is asking you now? Just because you happen to be older than me and have more years under your belt here doesn't mean you can talk back to me now that you're working part-time practically. As for the amount of work you have there, that's up to the department manager. So if you find that you have too much work for yourself to do, go talk to them, please. The department manager is not here right now. Well, then you can go to another high-up that's currently in the office with you and ask them for their help with the situation. I'm sure they'll be able to help you figure something out. Also, wasn't that task to have all those copies made and then stapled together a task given to you by the department manager? Also, you have only been within this company for 2 months. You are still only considered to be a new hire. So I wouldn't push your luck too much when it comes to the work you're being asked to do. Depending on how well you're able to manage your time and do your job here will ultimately decide where you move up to in the future. And even if you had been here for multiple years now, you trying to push your work off onto another employee like that is a no-go. Geez, who the hell cares about any of that? Hurry up and get back here so that you can copy these papers for me. Then you'd like me to call the office right now and tell one of the managers there that you are currently trying to push your work off onto other people? Huh? As of right now, I am not supposed to work any overtime when it comes to my schedule. So if I'm to come back to the office and do more work today, I'm going to have to go into overtime, and HR would not be too pleased with that. And at that point, I'd have to explain to them why I came back into work and put more work in. So if you're completely fine with me explaining the reason for clocking back into them, then I'll be back there really soon. Whatever. I get it now. I'm going to have to do all this work myself now then. If you're able to do that, then you'd be helping yourself out a lot. I'm heading into the supermarket to get some shopping done now, so I'll have to go. Who cares? All you are is an old hag that just talked back to one of the full-time employees here. I have proof of that now. Well, just remember that this weekend at the welcoming party for the new CEO, only full-time employees and family members will be allowed to go. So, unfortunately for you, now that you've told me you've switched to working part-time, you won't be able to attend said party anymore. And as for myself, now that I won't have you around me to cause trouble at the party, I'll be able to prove myself to the young and sexy CEO and get him to never forget who I am. But as for yourself, since you can't come to this amazing party, you'll get to spend the day by yourself like any other. Right? You have to understand that now, right? This is something I'm going to be smiling about for a while now. Seriously, it sucks to be an old hag like you. What the hell, Janet? Hey, Janet, what the hell is wrong with you? Why the hell is a part-timer of an old hag here at the CEO's welcoming party? The only people that are allowed to attend today are the full-time employees and the family of the CEO. You leave this place right now. Rita? Who was the one that said only full-time employees were allowed to come to this party? Excuse me? Well, it's the CEO's welcoming party, right? You think he'd want part-timers to be showing up to see him on his entrance into the company? Then tell me why there are other part-time workers here from both other departments in the company and of higher-ups themselves. What? I'm sure that with you only having been within this company for a mere 2 months yet, you haven't been able to meet and recognize everyone that works for the company, right? But I'm sure you can tell that some of the other people attending today also work shorter shifts for the company, right? I'd stop it with your shenanigans right now before you start to get others involved that you'd rather not be upset with you. What the heck? Then those that work in the planning department part-time are not allowed to be here. Huh? I, one of the full-time employees for the company, have just decided on that, so get the hell out. I'm really sorry, Rita, but I have to start talking to some very important people of mine, so I'll be going now. Huh? Talking to some important people, to you? Now, you listen here. Why the hell are you talking with all the executive directors and such now? And what's this with you being able to stand right next to the CEO like that? Do you not understand what your position as a part-timer means here? Also, the dress you're wearing to this kind of party is way too fashionable for you. Don't tell me. Are you trying to become the wife of the CEO or something? This cannot be. I need you to get the hell out of this party, one way or another. I'm the only one that seemed to have noticed this, so I must act now before it's too late for the CEO. You freaking loser! This is what happens when you try to make yourself look good in front of the higher-ups, when all you are is a low-life part-timer. Rita, what were you trying to do by causing all of this? And why were you just standing there in the back corner of the hallway waiting for me outside of everyone's view? My beautiful white dress is all stained in that red wine you were holding on to. I made sure that your dress would be ruined on purpose, you know. Now your only choice is to go home and leave all of us alone. So this was all a part of your plan to get me to leave this party? All because you didn't like the idea of me being here? That's right. Nobody wants to see you in that ugly-looking dress now, so I'd say your only option is to leave right away. Well, you have a good point. Especially since I'm drenched and might catch a cold standing in this cold building with only my dress on. I guess I really do have to head home. But I'll be back. You will not be back, though, is the thing. If you come back here again, I might just have to get myself another glass of wine to pour all over you. Do you have any idea what others will think when I have to leave? All that'll happen after you're gone is the party will be able to continue the way it should have without you here. And as for the CEO, he'll no longer have to look at an ugly old hag like you anymore, and can focus on more important matters like myself. So get lost, you loser! This dress happened to be really important to me, and I had it all prepared for a day like today, as the CEO wanted me to. Huh? If he becomes aware, When he becomes aware that this dress he was so excited about is covered in red wine, I'm sure he'll become very sad. Actually, he might become very upset. Huh? What are you going on about now? Janet, hey, can you please come back to the party? If you don't come back here, I'm going to really be in for something horrible. I didn't know anything about that. I literally never thought that someone like you would actually be the CEO's wife. And the reason for you becoming a part-timer after being a full-timer for so long was because your husband became the new CEO. And in order to have someone around the house more while he'd become more busy, you decided to work less hours for the company. And now that I think about it, the CEO happens to have the same last name as you do. Why did I never notice something like that before? Hey, Janet! Were you able to talk with the CEO? He's pissed at me. But I just assumed this whole dang time that the CEO had been single and had no other women. And I never knew that you were the wife of the CEO. Had you just simply told me about that sooner, I would have never had to kick you out of the party today. I had no choice, right? Rita, I think the problem that you're facing right now is something completely different from what you're thinking. Huh? Of course, it's totally unacceptable to pour wine all over the wife of the company's CEO like you did. But even had you not poured wine all over me and kicked me out of the party, you already had a whole lot of problems going on that could not be avoided. I hope you realize that the CEO is not only pissed at you about what happened today, but about plenty of other things that have been piling up, caused by you. I get that I've screwed up already, so just hurry back here, will ya? No. I happen to have a plan with the CEO on when I'm to come back to the party. So until that time has come, I'm going to be waiting at home for him to be finished dealing with you. Why won't you just come back here? Well, you happen to still be at the party, correct? Huh? I have every right to not want to be there while you're still in that building, right? You are a scary girl that thinks it's okay to pour wine all over me on purpose. And I can't be going back there until you're gone for good. I'm a scary girl? You think I am? As a matter of fact, right now you've been isolated into another room by some of the men there. And you have to wait in there until your parents arrive from the town to pick you up. They really went and called my parents on me? I was just trying to get rid of the old hag that was getting in the way of me and the CEO today. Why am I being fired from that company? I told everyone already that the only problem was that I didn't know you were the CEO's wife. Had I just known that one thing, I wouldn't have done anything to you. Also, all I did was spill a small amount of wine on you. My parents have already told me that they'll be paying for your dress to be cleaned for you, so I don't see what the problem is anymore here. You're firing me without any good reason. I could sue your husband for that. Settle down, Rita. I have something very important to tell you. The fact that you did all that when you haven't even been with the company long enough to consider yourself a proper employee gives this company every right to fire you over that. Also, the fact that you already told me you poured the wine on me on purpose could have the possibility of making the whole situation be taken into the police's hands. What? I've been talking with my lawyer about all that happened, and that's what he's told me. You're talking with a lawyer? I'm sure when you talk with him, he'll explain everything in a lot more detail to you. But I think you should stop it with all your BS and just let him take care of the situation with you. But that's... I've already been told I need to pay an out-of-court settlement to you, though. I'm sure that's what the lawyer will be coming to me for then. Not only have I been fired and won't be getting any kind of money for it, I'm going to have to be the one to pay for all that happened. So why is this all happening to me now? I never meant to hurt the CEO's feelings. On the day of the party, just as I had explained to Rita, her parents were on their way to pick her up from the place and have a talk with the CEO. When they did arrive, I was still waiting at my house, and so my husband handled everything for me. Her parents both apologized for their daughter's actions and then left the party, taking their daughter home with them. After that, her parents then helped us by paying the out-of-court settlement I'd asked for with the help of my lawyer. But this did not fix anything, really, as when it came to Rita, she was not able to learn what she'd really done wrong, and only told me a verbal sorry. Because of that, her parents realized that they never raised their daughter well enough if this was how she'd act. And so they forced her to start working for a landscaping company owned by her uncle, where he works her hard. She can't even push her work off onto any of the other workers either, as they're all big men that will not take that kind of crap from some small girl. Actually, due to the fact that her parents had to take out a loan to pay for the settlement, they made sure to put her name on it so that she'd have to pay it off over time. So as of right now, she's having to work every day of the week making money that she's not even allowed to keep, as it goes right into paying off her debt. And with that, she cries and cries and cries, all while trying her best to work a very laborious job with nobody around wanting to help her.